Andrea, we haven't been getting mysteries from Hallmark, but you know what? We do have Private Eyes on Hallmark Plus, and I couldn't be more excited because, to be honest, this is probably the best mysteries we've got going all year. So,
No, the coroner, the coroner.
that's
That's what
not a
I stand
Hallmark.
by.
That's not a Hallmark mystery.
The Hallmark Plus. Neither is
That's true.
neither is Private Eye.
No, it's not. I, well, we will get into it, but today we're going to talk about the first 9 episodes of season 2, and I could not be more excited because it's fun talking about good stuff. So, are
Yes,
you ready?
I'm ready.
This is Eric,
This is Andrea
and this is Hallmark Mysteries
and
and more.
more.
Your coroner, I think someone else brought it up, and I said that's going to be my airplane download. I'm flying to Florida this week, and I'm going to download season 1, so I'll be able to get through the entire season. Now, have
Did
you
the
watched?
person agree with me?
Oh, yeah, they said something like, "Oh, you should watch it" or something along that line. So I said,
It's
"Yeah, it's
good.
going to be
We
my."
can't review it though. We don't really have time to review it until probably 2026. So people who are listening have plenty of time because we're going to be smushed into the Christmas season, unless we figure out how to squeeze it in based on what we have. So you have plenty of
And
time to squeeze it in.
I will say, everybody, Andrea talks foolish. We will make time. There will be time. Since
I
there's no
don't
other
have
mysteries,
time.
there's no other mysteries. We will make time in
I don't know about that.
2025.
I'm not sure. I will not
Take.
guarantee that.
I only make bold proclamations, so
That's true.
guaranteed.
That's
Put
true.
it in your
I just don't show
calendars.
up like last week. Nothing to say, so I
That
didn't
was
show up.
sad. That was sad because
Well, it's again, it's hard for me to schedule right now. I mean, I have
I know.
young kids. I have like 4 jobs. My husband has been out of town 3 days a week. My life is very full right now, so it's very hard for me to find more than one day a week to record. Plus, I have my other podcast, so it's a
I
lot.
hear you. I hear you.
So,
And it was
and it
just a
wasn't my favorite.
shame that, and like Mystery Island for you, you're going in unsure, and it certainly didn't do
Well,
anything to.
actually, the first 30 minutes, I was like, oh, I started writing my review. This is the best one I've seen. And then
Once
we
she
just
died, once
spiraled after that.
I agree, once the main Ansley
Yeah.
died, she was the
Yeah.
most interesting character, and then they
Yes.
were left with all boring characters,
Yeah, they could have pulled that thread, I think, a little bit longer than they did or had something else happen because I was into it and then it didn't really land.
which is a shame. I'm still looking forward to the next one next month, but
And the other thing we're giving up on is the Chicken Sisters. So we did episode 1
well, we're giving
and
up reviewing.
correct. Like we're gonna probably still watch it, although it's not gonna be like my Monday morning must
Exactly.
watch for me.
Exactly.
But I kind of asked in like I actually didn't even do a poll. I just did it like DM me, what are your thoughts? And we had a lot of thoughts, and like of the a lot of thoughts, 2 people are really liking it. And I had so many after I posted also share they're really struggling to get into this season or the show as a whole. Either they gave up on it last year or they've tried it this year and it's just a struggle. So I don't know. It's just not connecting for a lot of people. And the cast again is where everyone's like, it's a good cast, but not the right show. So that's a
I
bummer.
I will say I think the second episode was better. See, today's Sunday. We'll see. Like you said, I won't wake up at 6 in the morning. Having it on, watching it
I'll
right after
probably
I walk
forget
the
about it until
dogs.
Friday.
I'll watch it when I watch it, but I will watch it. So hoping. Well, you ready to talk Private Eyes and some Angie and Shade?
Okay, so just Eric will have the fresher takes on these. So I watched this after our last Private Eyes episode. So I
Because she
binge kind
has
of
no self-discipline, unlike
no.
me, who is
Well,
waiting.
I have now since stopped because I was like, okay, so I did the first 9. I started episode 10 and then I stopped because I'm like, I'm never going to remember any of these. And sure enough, my review today, thankfully, I took notes on these because I am not going to be able to remember much. So, Eric, hopefully you can fill in my plot hole details. So, episode 1, The Extra Mile. The owner of a car racing team hires Shade and Angie. Angie and Shade adapt to their new roles. So, my notes, not my favorite, but rarely is car racing theme something I enjoy. So, that again, car racing, horse racing, anything with racing, I just am out. I thought the mystery was intriguing, but again, overall, the car not my jam. From what I recall, this is where that guy had that accident and was in the wheelchair. And it just, I don't know, it didn't entertain me as much as season one did. So starting of season two, it was a little bit of a drop for me, but that didn't last long. So what did you think of this one?
I have to say I was a little because when I stopped watching and you kept going and I was like all excited and you sort of tempered my
Oh, that's right.
enthusiasm.
The
And so I went into it a little uneasy and I'll say I was like, uh-oh, because like just like you said, the car racing, not my jam. It found it's kind of a boring setting. A little hint, hint, it will not win my favorite setting award. But like you said, the mystery was in itself, it was interesting. It was for me the highlight though was Angie, saying, Shade, it's official, you're my partner. And now, which is the base for the entire season, there's much more equality in this. While Angie still is the boss, there's a lot of they are team. There's no more of that tension of, you're the apprentice. Am I keeping you? Am I not keeping you? So I thought the best thing, like I said, that was it. And then there was some, character development aspect of it, pushing the relationship. Becca is back. She's like, nope, I'm gonna have Jewel. So Shade had to deal with, he struggled. What we learned in the first season was he struggled becoming a good dad, which he became, and now he has to give it up. So, you get a little of that emotional stuff, but the actual mystery, the race car thing, sure, it was interesting, but they could have done the same similar type thing in something that would have been a far more interesting setting for me, and I probably would have liked it more. So,
Okay, we forgot about the worst thing about this episode was Angie and Detective Logan coming back from their like trip and not being together and left it early. As you were, I thought you were going to mention that for sure because that I remember as you were talking about like a downer. That was the biggest downer for me is seeing how fast that fizzled, and then he really isn't in these first 9 episodes. Like he's in like one more,
I think
like
he's
a
two.
little bit. I know a little bit of that
Yeah,
second
yeah,
one, but like he's in one a little, a good chunk of it.
right.
So that to me was the biggest fizzle, and I was really sad. So
We
ugh.
did like we did like Detective Derek,
I
and
still like Detective Derek. I'm
there,
still hope. I'm holding out hope.
and well, we'll get to it a little later with it. Before we go, let's talk Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah, so episode 2, Angie finds out what her dad kept in his safety deposit box. Shade and Angie help a quirky client that insists there are strange going on in her apartment. Shade's dad is facing retirement, helps and befriends a restaurant owner involved in the case. So for me, another great episode. I love that Shade's father now has a love interest and that they have that diner as that the Red Robin diner is a great, I'm the big settings person. That is a nice like come home base, like let's have that cafe, that diner as a home base for them to meet. Plus the owner of the diner being the love interest, it just lends itself well. Initially, again, I had mentioned I think on season 1 I wasn't a big fan of that new assistant. By this episode she is now growing on me, so they toned her down from when they first introduced her. She was really a lot, and then I think they trimmed some of that up, and she seems to fit. I think they needed that now. And she fits, I think, with the plot points really well going forward through these first 9 episodes, at least.
Well, I'll say this is where maybe a little memory, but we just get introduced to her. So this is the episode where she's a lot, right? The next one's where they tone her down when they hire her. So she's all quirky, and she's the one who hires them because her furniture is moved and they're wanting to take over her apartment and everyone in there.
Nope. See, don't. I thought I mentioned her
See?
in season 1.
Nope.
What?
This is where she gets introduced.
Oh gosh.
And but for me, I agree. Once I got on this one, I'm like, okay, nope. My fears of season two completely erased. Just a
Yep.
fun one, all sorts of quirky characters, a quirky mystery. Like you say, Shade's dad. Like he was in there and he was a good guy in the first one, but like you say, he's stepping up now and seeing him being, oh, I'm nearing retirement, and oh, I have this, restaurant owner who I'll go help her with her electricity and maybe get a little electricity of my own there, which is, that's a lot of fun. And, who doesn't love a thing where you bring the greedy, shady developer down? So in
Hallmark
that
loves
aspect,
it.
I liked it. The bar was definitely raised. And I will say, watching this one, and then as we go forward, I think, which is a hard thing to do, we love season one. I think this sort of raised the bar, and I don't think they really let it down too much going on.
Mm,
So
I might
we'll
not agree
see.
with you. I
We
might
will
not
see where
agree
you
with you.
think.
Well, episode 3, The Frame Job. A teacher is accused of an inappropriate relationship and Shade and Angie investigate. Again, I really enjoyed this one. I like the school episodes. From what I've seen, they just
I
keep me
knew you would.
entertained
I knew
every
you would.
time. I don't know why.
Right.
Throw me in any of the schools just because you got like the teachers, the setting, except for the canine mystery that we
Oh
watched
yeah.
last year. That
Jazz
school did
Ramsey.
not entertain me, but usually they do. So the mystery with the teacher being accused of sleeping with the student, but really she was having an affair with the communications guy, and how that all came to
Right.
be, and like the wife like knowing about it. Did she know about it? It seemed, I
Well,
think.
yeah, because they were getting divorced.
And so like it was just a it's a lot. It's a lot,
Right.
but in a good, messy kind of made it fun for TV way. So for me, this one is entertaining, and we were kind of going right back up before eventually I come down.
All right, we'll see. I'm with you there. I thought the school was a fun location, especially because they went into the, underground of it. It was great seeing Jules and Liam, who were part of the investigation because they knew the school and all that. So it was really like a whole family affair type one. And then Angie is the sex ed teacher, which
Oh
I
yeah.
mean was hilarious because she's up there and Angie is not the ugliest of people. And I imagine being a teenage boy, not what you think. And then, hot, whatever it was, hot, I forget what her hashtag was, while Shade is once again being like, oh yeah, me. And the school's like, yeah, we don't need you again and stuff. So that was really, I love when they do that little, you know, stuff. It was like when they speed dated in the first episode and, everyone wanted Angie and no one wanted Shade. So that's always a funny thing to have there. And like you
Oh.
said, it was just like all these twists and turns where you think it's going this way and like, oh wait, that's not it. Oh wait, that's not it. And then I'm not going to do the spoiler, but it eventually it was a surprise of who was the culprit. So it was I think it was a really fun mystery.
I think I remember who the culprit was. I was like, I had to think about that. I'm like, I think I remember, but I might be
As soon as we
confusing
stop
it.
recording, I will remind you.
I was like, it might be confusing with a different school mystery, but I think I got it. All
Going
right.
back
Well,
to
episode
Rosemary and Time.
I know that's where I'm like, whoa. Episode 4, Crimes of Fashion. Fashion designer Sonia Valero hires Shade and Angie to guard her new collection. So for me, this one was an okay episode for me. I liked the heist of the wardrobe stealing, and that is the end of my notes. So it wasn't it was just an okay for me because I don't have much more. Like it was fine. Like I liked that his like Shade's ex-wife was involved and she was the one who kind of introduced them to be the guards for this
Right.
collection. And they were kind of making fun, like, who's gonna want to steal this? Or like, why do we have to do this? It seems a little extreme. And then for them to actually have the collection stolen. So that I think that actually like the lead in and having that banter made it more believable for us as an audience. Otherwise, I might have thought the same things, but I think they said the out loud part that maybe people who are watching would be thinking because I to me I don't know much about high fashion, and so I'd probably be like, really, you need all that? Like that seems
Exactly.
excessive. So I think they did a good job of setting it up. But the actual mystery of it was just kind of like, it was okay. I wasn't as invested in this one.
I can see there. I thought it was a fun mystery. It had a lot of action in it and it had some really good side characters in it. There was the, mob guy, air quotes, who turned out just to be a guy who liked really good truffles that you couldn't get in the United States, right? But, they portray him as being this like really scary guy and it was turned out he just likes truffles and has to bring those in. And then, we get Zoe, who's like, this is like where you're alluding to earlier. She's now totally part of the office. She's the home base who does the research. She's still quirky. She's still fun, but she's not like over the top like she was when she was the client. And I think it fit that role, but it would have been too much to have like on the ongoing basis. And so she, fits right in. And I think it's nice having that sort of person who runs the shop
Mhm.
and they call for advice, but also kudos because like they actually had high fashion in this, right? Whereas like we see some of the Hallmark things, and you'll go to head over heels or Christmas by Design, and you look at it and you're like, yeah, that looks like a middle schooler, cranked that out that they try passing as high, high fashion. Whereas this one, they really had like design, and they even had an actual designer who could not act, but in it and everything like that. So, great. And then Crimes of Fashion, which was also the name of the Hallmark one with Brooke Dior, I think they actually did a decent job in that one. But this one, you could tell that they either had more access or more money to the fashion. So I thought that was pretty good in that aspect. And I like you said, the mystery was kind of a interesting one. It was like I'll give them points for being unique because we don't see this one anywhere else. But at the same time, it wasn't like edge of the seat like some of the other ones.
Yeah, like this next one. Episode 5, Now You See Her. Shade and Angie, a look into a violinist who went missing 1 year ago, presumed dead. Meanwhile, Shade's dad starts acting strange. So I love this episode. I loved the mystery. So again, if they have a good mystery, which I think it's forgivable if it's not done well, this is why I like the corner, because I think those mysteries are all stellar and you can really be like, yes, they take you in. And this is a mystery where I think they really took you in there. And it was intriguing, and the ending was really well done. I think there was a lot of like, okay, we're on the edge of our seats here, what's going to happen? Detective Derek was there, which was a bummer in some ways because then you saw how cold
Angry Detective
him
Derek.
and Angie were towards each other. They lacked that spark, and they were just ice cold, and you're like, clearly something happened. Maybe we'll discover, or like, I don't think in these first 9 episodes we really got exactly what happened there. But something clearly did, or she ran away or got scared or something. And that's where it's really evident in this episode that something happened. But overall, like, this is one that I do remember a lot of. I did enjoy, so I give this one high marks. What about you?
I'm right there with you. I think with the Detective Derek, is this Angie just as a commitment phobe that as
That's what it
soon as it starts
seems.
going, she's got to flee, which
Yeah.
we'll get into in a second with, a later
Mhm.
episode. So I think that's really what it is that you had, tough Detective Derek was like ready for relationship, and Angie, just as soon as someone tries getting close, she shuts off that wall. So, but you're right. Like that's my note was angry Detective Derek because there was no love between the well, she was whatever, but he was clearly not happy with her. And of course, for other reasons, professional reasons too. But I'm with you. This was to me, it had such unexpected twists. Just the mystery in general was so intriguing that this is a really good one. And then for me, at the end of it, love wins out. At the whole thing, it turns out love wins out. And so, the softie of me just love that aspect of this episode.
Okay, well, episode 6, the PI code. This, I don't know why, but this has like a long description. So I might like edit some of this out as I'm reading it to you all. In a murder trial where the evidence is overwhelming, our investigators are hired by the prosecution to ensure that a member of the jury is not being swayed by the defense. Along the way, they encounter evidence that may support the defendant's claim of innocence. The private eyes now face an ethical dilemma in that they are working for the prosecution, and by pursuing the evidence, they may have to explore the gray areas of investigations. Angie also faces a former investigator employed by her father, and individually, her father fired for taking shortcuts and questionable methods. Matt's father provides support and advice while dealing with the developing business and possible personal relationships. As the jury deliberates, time becomes critical to both the investigators and the accused. I have no idea why this one is like so
What
long.
seriously, this is like longer than our review.
So long. I don't know why. But I love the episode. So sometimes we say a long description bad,
Right.
but actually, no, I love this one. The mystery was intriguing. And I actually like that Shade now has a love interest with the judge and how
Hells
that
yes.
kind of unfolded. I was like, okay. Because
No,
I really like
she's the
her.
prosecuting attorney. She's not the judge.
Oh, well, whatever she was. I thought
Yeah.
she was a judge. So she shows what I know. That long description, I don't know. And so I really liked her. And I think that that's kind of a fun love match for him. William Shatner's in this one. So that's always a great time. And then it's the first time that we've seen, I think, snow in an episode. And they're in Canada. So I love that they had snow. And then they have snow, I think, in a couple more
Right.
episodes, which, I mean, in real snow, it's not like looking like fake. It's like, hey, we are in Canada. So to me, this episode worked on many regards. The description, maybe not so much, but the episode, yes.
I'm with you. This was such a great one. William Shatner being the slimy PI. I hope he comes back. Like he's not going to be an ongoing one, but I hope we get to see him occasionally because his character was just too much fun. It's like the thing only William Shatner can do, right? The overacting, but somehow makes it work. And then, like you said, you get to see Prosecutor Mel, who, oh man, she is such a good fit for Shade. They are like so good together, and you keep tormenting me with don't get too excited because they are great together. And like the mystery itself, it was a pretty good one too because it was kind of like turned into this ethical dilemma, and they're got to go against who they're hired. They're hired to do one thing and that doesn't happen, but do they keep going or do they just shut it down? And of course they have to do the right thing. So, you know, that's what it is. And then we're getting a little bit more of Shade's dad on the what's going on with the romance or his health or, something's going on. And I just really like how his dad is more involved than just being a fatherly advice. He's a true character this season, yeah, which is great.
Well, episode 7, Between a Dock and a Hard Place. Angie and Shade are hired to find out who's targeting a pro bono medical clinic. All right, this is
Wait,
that.
That's it?
I know, right?
So they ran
Now
out
on,
of
we are
words
one
from the last
sentences.
one.
Oh, well, this one has Mark. I'm going to butcher this. Yaname.
Uh, you're doing better
He
than I
makes
am.
the entrance. Really enjoy seeing him. He played the doctor, the doctor that comes into town on Virgin River as well. And just so you know, I am almost through the latest season of Virgin River. Finally making it. I got 2 episodes left. So I thought, you know what? I'm really enjoying Ransom Canyon. And so I thought, let me finish this. And so Mark does come back. Very small scene in Virgin River, unless he's in these last 2 episodes. So I like him. He's been in some of the Hallmark movies. So I don't know how long he's going to stick around for here. And he was Angie's ex. And that's, we uncover all of that, which I think that's a good plot point for many of these series. Just to have that, especially because hey, it was so serious he was gonna, propose. And the overall episode though was an okay for me. I think because so far this season has been really stellar. This one didn't land as well for me. There's a couple others, maybe one other that's the same. This is actually, as I'm looking at the next 2, this one, it's the best of the next 3, but it starts to kind of turn down for me. I know. And so that's maybe why I started episode 10 and then I just stopped because I found the corner. I was like, great, this is
I think you just lost
taking a
some.
turn.
You got distracted because I have different thoughts.
I know you do about one of them too, because you're like, oh, this is so good. And I'm like, I can't even remember it. And then I'm like, oh, looking at my notes, that's why. So this one, again, it was the best of these next couple. Clearly you think opposite.
Well, I thought like you said, the mystery was just okay for me, but I liked it because this movie was packed with a lot of character development, especially like you're saying, that Angie backstory and finding out there. And as soon as I saw him, Mark Jumenet, or however you pronounce his name, pop on the screen, I'm like, oh, Andrea's gonna love this because that dude I know is in Virgin River. I don't know him from Virgin River. I just know when we see him in Hallmark movies, it's
He's
always on
great.
his IMDb. Virgin River is like the first thing that pops. So I was like, all right, well, this is gonna be right up Andrea's thing. And I like the fact that you got both of them. We know, and we just talked about Angie's commitment issues, but seeing both of them in separate, independent relationships, not with each other, I don't need those two together. And I know it's going to happen. It just has to, because that's just what happens, right? But I love seeing them just having their banter, having business partners, and all that fun relationship. They can, appreciate each other and have a little bit of tension, but pursue their own relationship. So I really like that aspect of it. But like you say, the mystery itself, it's just okay.
So do you like her better with the doc or with detective?
Oh,
The doc or the
Detective
detective?
Derek,
Okay.
a thousand
Okay.
percent.
I same with me. That's why I'm still holding out hope. Maybe she'll ditch the doc and go back to the detective.
Because he's like whatever, the doc's fine. He's a humanitarian, but Detective Derek's
They had
I
such
mean,
fire
he's a
chemistry.
dude. Like he is. Like I'll go back to the thing like when he was hanging out with Matt and they're driving in the car and there was all that like little tension. That's back season one. Like he's just great. Great.
Well, this is where it starts to take a turn for me. Episode 8, 6 Feet Blunder. Shade and Angie are hired to find a missing body, but wind up uncovering a scheme to bury millions of dollars. This one is one of the lower ones from the season. I enjoyed it, but I liked other ones better. As I'm looking back at the season, this is probably second least favorite behind the car one. The ending when Angie runs out, when she sees the ring, didn't love that, which again, that's where you also are kind of connecting dots, I guess, about Detective Logan, what happened in either Caribbean
Detective
Vacation.
Derek, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I said. Detective Derek.
You said Logan.
Well, that's his name too. Derek Logan is his name.
No, it's
Yes, it
you
is.
keep talking.
It is. So that to me, that I don't love that aspect, the runaway or the female who is commitment phobe or anyone who's commitment phobe. I feel like we need a little
Nolan.
therapy. Oh, Nolan Derek.
No, Derek Nolan.
Oh, well, I was close. I'm sure there's a Logan. Look it up. I'll keep rambling about something. I'm
There's
just
no
kidding.
Logan, but keep going.
Oh, that's all I have to say. I know you love this one
I
because
did.
you
I thought
text
this
me,
was
and
a
I'm like, oh, I don't remember this
yes,
one at
this was a
all.
great one. I mean, it was a great mystery. I love the fact like it had twists and turns. You had these bodies, like where are they going? Like, oh, what's going on? The
I didn't
funeral
care.
home is such a unique place for the mystery.
Did you see Poker Face?
No,
Okay. I was like, because I know that you said your wife doesn't like it, but I think that of the funeral, like that scheme, Poker Face season 2, you should watch that episode because that was
they
a
do a
good.
funeral home there too.
They do a funeral home, and that episode, it still sticks. That's a good episode. So I'd highly
Uh,
recommend you just even to pop in and watch that one because those are kind of
okay,
standalone. But that one is better than this one. So that's kind of why maybe this one fell a little flat because of the Poker Face one was so good.
okay. Everyone can just forget everything that she just said because this episode's great. It is so fun. The twists, the turns. Like I say, the how it happened. Then you got the like both different. There's two different funeral homes who are both like, I don't know what happened, and they get bodies back and then they get stolen. It's just all sorts of craziness with this underlying thing of the funeral home. And then, like you said, there's the snow where they're running outside with the gurney, sliding on the snow and stuff like that, which I thought was just a lot of fun. And as you said, the good doctor, I don't think he's long for Angie because we do see Angie just as soon as you start getting close, she literally runs.
Uh, well, episode 9 takes us to the last one that we're talking about today, The Good Soldier. Shade and Angie investigate the case of a missing army cadet. I thought the premise of Shade doing the army workouts was fun and how he kind of went undercover. I liked, again, his ex brought them there. I liked how they went camping and had to sleep outside after he got injured. But the actual mystery itself, it was okay. Not my favorite again. Probably maybe would rank third to last. It's still enjoyable. Like it's not one that I'm like, oh, I'm skipping it. It's still good, just not as good as some of the other ones this season.
Well, I'll say I'm kind of there with you. The bookend, this was my second least favorite behind the auto racing one. Here's the thing, I was watching it, and when I found myself doing some other things while I was watching it, because usually with Private Eyes, it's 44 minutes, my attention can be locked and loaded, and I'm like right there. Whereas this one, I started like doing multitasking, which is a sign that I'm not totally in. And my note too was the thing I thought was so fun was they're going undercover the drill sergeant yelling at Shade, this, that, and the other. You had Angie with her glasses pretending like she's the assistant. And then, Becca treating her like the assistant. Go get me coffee. She's like, serious? And then, just having Becca slightly involved in it and all that. I thought that was great. But towards the end, Shay does finally introduce Mel to the family, but I'm still a little uneasy because I don't know. I don't know. I want Mel to stick around, but I just got a little uneasy at the end when Angie shows up and Shade sees her and he can see he's like, what's going on there? So
I know, and I only watch again. I just started episode 10, so I have no idea because I was like, I got to watch these closer to when we review. Which, looking at our notes, we'll probably hit the last 9 episodes in October, like that first week in October. So if others are pacing themselves, that's when we're going to do it. So I will pace myself and probably not watch again for another month, so I can remember these more. Oh, well, favorite setting for me, I picked the Boardwalk Empire episode, episode 2, I think it
really,
was. And mostly just because the Red Robin Diner got introduced and it's kind of that like cozy neighborhood feel, which it's one of the reasons I like Cabot Cove. It's that cozy little neighborhood feel. And I also didn't have another one that really stood out to me as I was kind of even flipping through them mentally, because I have some that fit other ones. And I didn't want to put the same episode in every single category because I could easily do that as well. What do you have?
I I thought I was going to do the frame job because I loved the school one, but I went 6 feet Blunder, and that the funeral
That's your
home.
favorite setting?
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
found it for a
The
place
funeral.
for a mystery. It was just such a interesting,
It's really
unique
funny.
place that allowed it just to go these directions that you weren't expecting
It's
and
so funny.
everything. So I thought it was they went to the morgue. I'll include the whole thing, right? The morgue slash funeral home thing. It was. I thought it was just really interesting that we don't normally get. Apparently, we get it in Poker Face, but
Yeah, and we get it, I think, in the coroner as well. And there's some diagnosis
wasn't
murder
the
ones.
coroner isn't like what a coroner does.
But yeah, and then
So
same with diagnosis murder. So that's where it's such a familiar setting to me in the mysteries I like to watch. So maybe that's why it also was like, oh, I've seen better
I
ones.
can see like the morgue, but not the funeral home. But go ahead. All right.
Poker face. Watch it, Eric. Well, let's talk about most intriguing mystery and then we'll finish with our favorite episode. So, the mystery that was most intriguing could also be my favorite episode. So, I'm going to save that one. I decided to throw in my most intriguing mystery as the frame job, which was the teacher one. Just because, again, it had twists and turns, and you're kind of like, oh, this is happening. And the actual whodunit, if I'm remembering right, is intriguing as well. So that's where it kind of landed for me. I could have easily picked though the one that I'm saving for the next category.
I could very easily have picked yours as well because that was a great mystery. But I went with Now You See Her because I just found that one. It's like literally everything you want in a mystery. It was fantastic. Great mystery, great character arcs. And as I said, love conquers all. So for me, absolute the best. And I think I know where you're going to go with your favorite episode. And this could have been mine, but I had one that I just made me
That
feel so
that
good.
funeral home. That funeral home really hit you hard. My favorite episode is that one, episode 5, Now You See Her. That one, again, when I was kind of looking through my notes, because I didn't write down favorite episode setting or mystery. I wrote notes on all the episodes, thankfully, as I watched them. And then it's kind of nice, having a month away, I kind of flip back and I'm looking through them. And the only one that I could really remember most of this episode was that one, because that's always to me a sign of a really good mystery and a really good episode is when you can take time away from it and still be like, oh, I would watch that again and I can remember everything that happened. That was really a great episode. So that was a standout for me this first 9 episodes.
I will not argue with you. It is a 10 out of 10.
What'd you
So
pick then?
I went with the PI code just
Okay.
because I thought once again, it was such a fun
That
episode,
was
getting the William Shatner, getting some more of that character development. everything. It just had so much going on in it. And, it was a decent mystery and everything, but it just had literally everything, fun, little sadness, everything. And I literally wanted to watch it again right when I finished. So I took that as a sign. But like I say, that best mystery and favorite episodes, I could flip flop them. Well, I think Now You See Her was a better mystery than the PI code. So that's why I put it there. But like you said, Now You See Her is a brilliant, brilliant episode too.
It really is.
So,
All right. Well, we will again do this in October with the next 9. And then next week we are heading to Netflix, I think for the first time, question mark.
I think
We're
so.
going to do the Thursday Murder Club because we've mentioned it on the podcast, the book series. And it's a stellar cast. So this will also be our biggest names that we've ever reviewed with like Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan.
Bronson.
So that will be exciting. And that airs, I think it airs on Thursday on August 28th. Yep. So watch that before we release in the next, the first week in September. So that should be a fun time. I'm excited.
Hopefully I'll have interviews with Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan,
I was like, okay.
and Ben Kingsley.
Wow.
By
Let's see that, Eric.
May be a little out of my league. Pierce Brosnan is one of my favorite actors. So when he was cast in this, I'm like, awesome. He is fantastic. And Helen Mirren, when I read the book, that is literally who I was envisioning when I read the book. So I could not be better casting.
Well, I'm excited. So yeah, we will do that. And then I think to the next one, if you're kind of looking ahead, because this one does have a lot of episodes, the September 11th week, we'll be doing Shakespeare and Hathaway season 1. So I will probably have to look back because I did watch them, but that one is one that I'm going to have to revisit.
I watched them before it was Hallmark. So yeah, I'm going to have to definitely do some revisiting.
Yeah, I will as well because I watched both seasons, but I'm going to have to kind of rack my brain to remember all of those. So I'm excited.
I usually remember the first one, but yeah, the other ones I'll have to go through and give a little rewatch. Or
same. Yeah, the first one I remember too, and a little blurry after that.
Well, they all kind of, I don't know, first season, second season, like where it fits. Yeah. So, yeah. All right, well, good time. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye. This podcast was created by fans for fans and is not affiliated with or sponsored by Hallmark or the Hallmark Channel.